The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast.
And we're live.
Lift off. All right,
We
here
are
we go.
live.
Let me move some things around on my screen so I can see. Okay. I genuinely cannot see what I wrote because I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, Ellyn.
Yeah, but I don't like to have my glasses on because the light, it like reflects poorly.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay.
That's why I'm always leaning in because I can't see.
Sheryl Sandberg, lean in.
Lean in, lean all the way in, lean in and don't wear glasses, people.
And
that's the message.
That's it.
Just be like this.
Yes.
I love when like an older lady like puts the monocle, puts like glasses on just to see. Okay, so we're going to talk about, I love that where it's just like, or they're like reading a paper and they just hold their glasses up and they're like, okay, so
they usually have them open.
I always thought someone like holding their glasses like this and like using it as like a talking thing. And like, they're like, okay, so what we're going to discuss today, like, da-da-da. I'm like, I always found it so entertaining. Like,
oh my goodness.
Real life props. Oh my gosh.
I think you should do that. I think you should hold your glasses open. And
every time I want to look over and see, and we're like, and they're backwards.
You open them. You have to open them. I feel like they have them open.
When they're doing it like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love when someone takes their glasses off of their face as also this one is like loose.
It's a little loose.
But this one's not. Look, this one's not loose. This
that one is stiff. The other one's not.
So sad. So when you like read something and they're just like reading something, and they're just like,
and then they.
So what we're really discussing here, and I'm like, they took their glasses off. They don't need them. You don't need them.
Oh my goodness, I love that, and I love the quick like snatch off.
I love this too, like the reading. They're like this, and then they're just like, so what we're talking about here is blah blah blah. Like, or they do this and they talk like this.
Yes, that. Love it. It's such a vibe. Okay.
Shout out when someone takes their glasses and holds it in their hand, but they don't actually touch the glass. They're like holding it like this. Be talking like this. And I'm like, are you touching it or not? Are you touching it or not?
That's a pro move. Because my fingerprints would be all over.
That's why, like with this, I can see. I just look through the bottom.
We got to work on that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Regents podcast. I'm going to leave all of this in.
Welcome.
Welcome back to the Regents podcast. My name's Ellyn.
And my name is Aja.
And we're two best friends who quit our jobs to pursue our passions. And we're just riffing about glasses. I mean, if anyone wanted to know how I come up with my little bitties, that's how. Like just this little riff that you guys heard at the beginning. Me just talking about glasses.
Yes.
I can see
how glass wearers, maneuver between.
What a privilege to be living your life with a prop.
That is honestly.
You can always add emphasis. Always.
What am I gonna do with no glasses?
Nothing. You've got nothing. You have nothing.
Nothing.
I have nothing. Nothing.
There you go.
I just want to know. It's 2 minutes into the podcast. I started singing, but I will say before we went and started recording, Aja did bring up a song. So I'm not the first.
But yes.
Let me take off my glasses so I can
she's the first.
Really laugh about this.
Yeah. I need a prop. What can I use?
And that's what I'm saying. It's like a built-in prop. I can really like emphasize. I can point to things.
Yes, you can make it interesting. You can put them on, take them off, and
I can really make people be like, oh my God, she's really upset. Cause I can just be like, what are you talking about? Like, or you can really make someone be like,
there she is. There's the actress. Oh, okay.
Like,
or she's going to put her glasses back on and mind her business because she's just going to go. Exactly.
Oh my God, this morning. Oh my God, this was a moment to put my glasses down here and be like this. Like, I do that too sometimes. Okay, 2 times I use my glasses. This morning, this woman cut me off in line for gas.
Oh, okay.
It's aggressive. And I
Very.
was just kind of like, but then sometimes when I see an attractive man and I like to flip the script on, you know, what would we call it? Objectifying women. I objectify
Like
men as
catcall,
like a
right.
form of like protest in society.
Yes, equality.
Equality, exactly. Like if I'm going to be uncomfortable in life, so are you.
You should be uncomfortable because you
So
look good.
sometimes I'll be like this. I'll be like, literally, I will be like,
The
or like,
question is, did he see you?
I hope he
Did
did.
he see you objectifying
I
him?
hope every man that I've ever like stared at because I found them attractive saw it.
Right, right, right.
Although I also hope they didn't because I don't want their egos to get big. But
Mm.
I also hope they were like, who's that girl? Who's that woman
Who
looking at me? Who's that girl? It's just, oh, you're doing, who's
Oh,
that girl? La
na
la 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 la. Who's
yes.
that girl?
Dun, 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 dun,
Da,
dun, dun.
da,
Um,
da,
um,
da, da.
but I also love New Girl. Oh
Oh,
gosh.
such a
Shout
good
out.
show.
So good. I stumbled upon that show
Really?
in California actually years ago.
Really?
Yes, I was in San Diego and I was like, "What is this?" I was laughing hysterically in the hotel room. It was just
It
like,
is a good show.
oh my gosh, I love it. I could watch it right now.
Oh, who's your
Oh,
favorite character?
Jess.
Yeah.
Um, I love I love Winston too.
Oh my
Winston's
God, he's so funny. I think my
good.
favorite character
Mhm.
is Schmidt because I love the way he says things. And you know how I am with like words and vernacular and pronouncing things the way I feel in the moment.
He was so animated.
Yeah. He's just,
Oh my gosh.
I can literally, like, there's so many good Winston.
Yeah.
The picture's on the box, Winston. Winston's like, I'm gonna do a puzzle. I'm gonna wonder what it's gonna be. And he's like, the picture's on the box, Winston. What do you mean? What do you mean you want to know what it's gonna be?
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen New Girl, please
Yeah.
do yourself a favor. It's on
Yeah.
Netflix. Is it
It's
still on Netflix?
I think it is. If it's not, that's the travesty. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's
It
on
might be
Peacock
like
or
on
something.
like Hulu or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It really is a very good show.
Yes, it is. Did you watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Uh, I
I
love
loved
that.
Parks and Rec.
I love those types of shows, the ones that don't even need a laugh track. Like,
No. No, I loved
that's
Parks and
so
Rec. I loved New Girl. Those were all in like a certain time.
But I watched all of them after the time.
Same.
Yeah, okay.
Like I never watched The Office when it was on. I only watched it after the fact.
Now I think I watched The Office while it was on.
Like same
That's
thing
what
with Parks and Rec. Same thing with
ah,
New Girl. I think what else I've like.
who's that girl?
It's Jess.
It's just
And they're all still such good friends. Like they're all always
Are
like
they?
chit chattering. Yeah, I always see them on
Oh,
podcasts together.
oh,
I think they have
wow.
their own podcasts. Like, yeah, they're always doing something.
So many podcasts.
Yeah. I love those like break the fourth wall, like in an office setting, like Parks and Rec, where they're like being interviewed on this. Like, there's always like a faux documentary team that's
Oh,
like
yes.
recording the situation.
Recording real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like The Office, like Parks and Rec. I didn't like 30 Rock, but it's a similar thing.
Or Abbott.
I live for
Running
Abbott Elementary.
to the camera. I love
That's
that.
my
They're all
favorite.
just talking and they'll just be like,
Whenever there's like a straight man kind of look like of like, are you seeing this? Like if I was in the car, like this morning, I'm in the car, I get cut off by this woman.
You're supposed to be a
I
cameraman.
I would have
Right.
literally looked to the camera and be like, it was nuts. I did record my reaction to it. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen more psychopathic behavior. Like we're in a line.
Right, right.
I was like, maybe I wasn't moving forward fast enough, but
I'm
I
sure
wasn't
they
even next. I was 4 down the line.
Oh, so she just cut you in the
She
but how
cut
did
me
she
off.
do that?
She could have like
Coming in and then she just kinda squeezed her way in
no,
between your
like I was like there was like a car length in front of me because I wasn't moving yet because I was like playing around on my phone, and she could have
Okay.
just done a little horn honk and I would
Yeah.
have moved forward.
Uh-huh.
Or she could have done nothing and I would have eventually noticed because we were still so many cars
She was
away.
behind you.
Yeah, we were still so many cars away from the gas tank because
The
it's
pump.
like two pumps.
First of all, that's a mess. Why are there so
Oh,
many
it's a Costco. It's Costco. So it's like a
Oh,
hardcore like
I got
situation.
you. Okay.
Um, but so I'm there and this is 8:30 in the morning too. So it's
Mm.
like
First
everyone
day
just
back at
be
work,
calm.
Ellen.
I know,
Okay.
first day back at work.
Back to work, back to school, they just drop their kids off, gotta drop the kids off, like,
They're like hustle, hustle, hustle. So
exactly.
she cuts me off. She goes in front of me, doesn't like beep, doesn't do anything to like be like, oh, hey, there's like space to drive forward. Even though there was nowhere to go, we were still not able to pump our gas yet.
Mm.
Well, then I was like, aggro. I honked my horn once because I was just like, what the heck, man? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the tea
Aw.
here?
What the heck, man?
Yeah, like what the heck, man? Like it's so like innocuous, but it's also just like, why would you do like it's like I don't know, it's just like such like a weird thing to do.
It
You
is.
know, it's
It
the same. It's
is.
like when
It's
someone
not
like
like
cuts
you're driving on the street and
no,
then you cut someone off.
no, or
We've
like
all been there, but
imagine you're in a
with
parking lot and
coffee,
you're waiting for a spot and someone else pulls into it. Like that to me is
it happens.
unfathomable. It's like something you would see.
Well,
Well, it's something you would see on television. It's something you'd see
mhm,
in a comedy or like a movie or something.
definitely an episode of Seinfeld, right.
Yeah, exactly. But that's where I'm like, how did this just happen in real life? It's like racing in front of me to get into a movie theater where we have assigned seats. It's like
Yes.
there is no point to cutting in front of me. Like there's still 4 or
Right.
5 cars ahead of us. Well, joke's on her because when we pull up to get our gas, it's
Mhm.
like the 2 cars in front of us got their gas and then drove away. So then she pulled up to the front pump and I pulled up to the back pump. And we both
Both
had to get
ends
out of
at
our
the
car at
same
the same
time.
time
Exactly.
and acknowledge each other.
I would have been like, "Hi, good morning."
I literally was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's going to happen? Oh my god, I don't want
Right.
her to look at me." I was like trying
Was
to
she,
avoid
like,
everything.
younger, older?
She was like, late 30s, maybe 40s, early
Oh,
40s
okay,
in a
alright.
white Volkswagen Jetta
Just
license plate. But so I was just so then we
not
did
an
make eye
episode of Grease.
contact
We
and
don't need that.
and she rolled down the window before and was just kind of like, "Oh, go ahead of me." So I'm like, "Oh, did you not see like what happened?" Like I don't even understand what happened now because now she's trying to tell me to go
Right.
around her. I was like,
Exactly.
"Oh my
Because she
god."
knew she was in the wrong, that's why.
So then when we were at the pump, she was just like, "Oh, sorry about that." And I was like, "It's okay." Like I didn't even say anything. I was just like, "Yeah, it's okay." I should have been like, "What happened? How did this happen? How did we come to this?"
What happened? What made
Yeah,
you
what
want
happened?
that actually would have been very
Could you
comical.
imagine? Could you imagine if I had asked her like, "Why did you do?" Like
What
stone
happened?
face,
I'm
takes my
curious to
glasses off.
know. Yeah. I'm so curious to know why you felt
Why did you do that?
what happened? Why did you
What
do that?
happened? What happened?
Oh my
Why did
gosh.
you do that? like so
So
hurt,
hurt.
like
Right.
hurt. But why? So I
Oh
just
man.
accepted the apology and just kept it moving. And I just kept it moving and kept it moving and kept it moving until I sat down to do this podcast. And that is why Aja and we were both talking about for like 45 minutes before we started to record how we're tired. We've been go, 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 had a lot of stuff on our plate, like da, da, da. And it did bring up a very organic, natural topic, which is like rest. And
Yeah.
what better time to talk about us needing rest than at the end of the summer when everyone else has been resting
Right.
and
And you're all
everyone's
gearing back up for
literally going back to school,
season.
back to work, Labor Day weekend, like everyone's like back at it. And we're just like, I could use a vacation.
Take a beat.
And it's
Because
so,
we move
yeah.
on our own schedules.
Well, I think that that's the benefit, right? Of us being in charge of our own days, weeks, months, and even your years. But I'll be there for you.
Didn't watch that show, but okay.
You know what? I never like
What's the theme song?
watched it. It just was always on.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, like
Yeah, yeah.
Lynn, my roommate in college, she loved Friends. So it was one of those things that was like on in the background.
Mhm.
But I've actually never sat down and watched the whole show. But I've got the gist of it. I'm sure I've seen most episodes at this point, but
Okay.
I've never like I'm going to watch Friends.
Yeah,
Sat
yeah.
down,
Okay.
you know.
Oh, I'm sure I've maybe seen, like, 1 episode, but that's all. I've
That's
never
so
know
funny.
anything about it.
That's how I
But
felt about like Sex in the City. Like I never actually
that's
watched it when it
another
was
one.
on,
Didn't watch that
but I
either.
would see it on TBS or something and it was
It was
like the
always on,
edited, like safe version. So
of
then when I
course.
finally watched like the movie, I was like, "Oh my god.
This is
Lord
what they always
above."
wanted to get out.
Yeah, or like Lynn would
Like,
be playing that on DVD and I'd be like, "Oh my god, like it's heavy.
yeah.
Some
Right. I
some
mean,
real
it's
language."
Sex and the
Yeah.
City, like,
Yeah.
they were already teetering on the edge.
So wild. It's so wild. So
Indeed.
many people, you know, like they're like clearly went to the city and they're like, I'm gonna live my best Carrie Bradshaw life. It's like
Very,
so
yeah.
unrealistic.
Oof. What did
Like
she do?
she was
What
she
was her
was a columnist, not even like a regular writer who had like regular and she was employed by a magazine. She was a
Yeah.
columnist. So there's just one column on a weekly basis. That is
Mhm.
not enough money to live in a brownstone on the Upper West Side, East Side,
Oh
wherever
my
she was, with her luxury shoe situation and designer.
god. Luxuries.
Like to be honest, it's like prior to influencers. So like there is just no way she was not making money on the side by posting pics of her shoes and like her outfits and going to the club. Like
Right.
she wasn't making side cash doing that stuff. She just was doing that
That's
stuff.
columnist.
And
Okay.
then when she turned her column into a book, that's when the money comes in. But
Okay.
yeah, on the show her like column becomes a book.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Just in case you haven't seen it, came out 20 years
So
ago, but
so if that's something you would want to do when you're on vacation, when you're relaxing, you know, go binge watch a show or whatever. But I think that thinking about like back to school, back to work, I also
Mhm.
feel like the like end of summer, beginning of the fall is like the the like second new year. I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like everyone puts so much emphasis on January and New Year, New You and
Yeah.
resolutions and dry January and all this stuff in January. It's so much pressure. But really,
So
like,
much pressure on my birthday month.
oh, truly,
Yeah.
pump the brakes. Let's just celebrate Aja. How about that?
Thank you,
How about
okay?
everyone
The
just
new year
takes a
12.
break?
Take a break.
Take a break. I have to stop singing.
Yeah. No, you don't. You sure
This is
don't.
this is your brain not on Adderall. This is every single time I break out into song, and my
Oh,
brain's going in a
man, this
hundred
is a
directions.
reminder. Right,
Oh
right.
my
What did you call
god.
it? Galaxy brained?
Yeah, that's
I'll call
literally
it
galaxy brain. Like every time I hear words, I'm just like, take a break.
yes. That's
Run
me
away
too.
with
Oh
us
my
for the
god.
summer. Let's go upstate. For that's all for my Hamilton fans. Um, Aja, you
But
honestly really should have seen Hamilton. It's like it's a
no.
cultural moment.
I follow what I no, I see what the culture does, and I do the opposite. They're all at Hamilton,
You're like,
I won't
it's
be.
fine. I caught wind of it. It's good. I know enough.
Exactly, because all y'all posted about it and are
Yeah.
singing songs to this day.
It's so good. It honestly is just so good. It was such like a well done. The music was just so good. I could literally listen to that cast album like
Yeah.
back to front, forward to back, like and then they did like a limited amount of songs where they collaborated with the Roots and the Roots produced like an album with all
Okay.
these other artists doing covers of those songs. So good.
Hmm,
Yeah, that was
okay.
really cool. A
Nice.
Hamilton mixtape.
No, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
Do you
that's what I'm
remember
saying.
mixtapes? I love that era of music. Oh my
That's what
gosh.
I'm saying. It was really good. And like the Roots like co-produced it, I believe, with Lin Manuel. Like even
Mm,
Jimmy Fallon's on it because he's
okay,
like really good friends with Lin Manuel and then also the Roots, you know. So it's like there's so many like I think
great
Chance the
moment.
Rapper is on it.
Love Chance.
Who else is on it? Kelly Clarkson.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good ones.
Oh, I'll check that
Yeah,
out.
you. If honestly, I would say like if you're not into the musical, check out the mixtape. It's so good.
Check out the mixtape.
I'm gonna play it after we hang up. I'm gonna play it and clean up the apartment. Dear
There we
Theodosia, what to say to you? Oh, so beautiful. It's so good.
Beautiful.
It's so good. Okay, so back to the topic at hand of new year, new you, new end of summer.
Yes, right. Where we're gonna continue.
And for people like us, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, people who are doing their own thing, we're really very much in charge of our lives. We're in charge of our days. And that's such a blessing and such a privilege that we get to like construct a day, a week, a month that makes sense to us.
Yeah.
And a part of that is also recognizing that because we're doing what we want to be doing,
Mhm.
that we need to recognize that there's a necessary element of rest where even if you're like laying down on the couch watching a show and then like low key I'm editing a video on the side, like that's not resting.
No.
Like that's not scheduled downtime where I'm not thinking about anything work related.
Yeah.
And I think the big like phrase is this idea of like this pressure to be productive,
Mhm.
because if you are a solopreneur, the only way to generate more business or to get your business to move forward is to work.
Right.
So there is this huge pressure. And I also think societally a pressure to be productive. But it becomes very difficult to like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna take off. Like remember when I went to San Diego and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take off. I'm not gonna do anything. And I like filmed a ton of stuff when I was there.
Right.
And I said, like, but it didn't feel like work
Mhm.
because I enjoy doing that stuff. I enjoy filming and all of that. But there is an element of the performance of the work. And you're like, yeah, but I could have also just sat and looked at the ocean instead of taking a video.
Exactly.
So I'm
Exactly.
curious what your thoughts are about the idea of like the pressure to be productive.
So much pressure. I
Mm,
think, you know, there's a culture of, hustle and grind, no days off. What are you doing? Get off your butt and work. There's all of that. But like I was saying when we were offline, I was like, every week I really do try to do my best to take one day off and truly just rest, put it all aside, kind of let my mind clear from the week
mm,
and not stress or put much forethought to the next week, but like really just to be and to be present. And there is and I'm so happy that you mentioned like, resting while you're, kind of watching a show and also kind of answering emails or editing
mm-hmm.
something or whatever. It's not rest. Like
No.
it's not, it needs to be its own focused thing where you're intentional about just being present. I think there's such an element of importance to that we don't talk about enough. I feel like people um, are more privy to the idea of rest and truly incorporating it as a regular thing that we need to do because as humans, like we're not robots.
Yeah.
We are not AI.
No.
So we do need we do need those times of like respite to rejuvenate, especially in the creative arena that we're in to give ourselves time to, just be, to experience, to observe,
Yeah.
and just live life,
I think that's so crucial. The idea of like if you have to give your mind space
Mhm.
to flow and find new ideas or be intrigued by something new or think deeper into something you hadn't really thought about, like I I do sometimes step back and I'm just like I feel like I'm not thinking about new stuff. I feel
Mm,
like right now I can tell you I feel like a little bit like devoid of creativity of
mhm.
like I don't have anything I really want to post or make a video about that's like substantial. It feels like I'm a little bit like I did my watch along. I don't really have something else I'm really thinking about right now.
Yeah.
So instead of this like pressure to just get something up, I'm kind of like taking a little bit of a calm break of like,
Mhm.
let me let me go back and look at everything I just never edited
Yes.
because I do film stuff pretty quickly that I forget that I
Yeah.
have filmed stuff. So I'm like, okay, if I don't want to be on, it's not even, I don't even ever think about being on camera. I think
Mhm.
that's thankfully a blessing that I don't think that way, you
True.
know,
Right. So you don't
because
overwhelm yourself.
exactly. My friend Courtney, she was like, I saw her like a couple weeks ago and she was just like, oh my God, I just love that you like, it's clear you just turn, and she meant this in a very loving way. She's like, it's clear you
Okay.
just turn the camera on and like don't even think about like what does your hair look like what's your outfit? Like you're just
Mm.
like comfortable just like getting on camera and just doing
Yeah.
the thing.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
because I made this cucumber video and she was like, yeah, like you didn't even have a bra on and you were like, okay, I'm gonna go shake the cucumbers
Oh,
in
and
this
then you
big,
were like,
and I was like, I'm gonna step off camera because I don't think you guys don't get to see this for
"You
free
don't
type
wanna
of
see
thing.
the show." Right.
Yeah. But it was like, she was like, it's very obvious. It's just super organic that you just like turned the camera on. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, that's generally how it works for me. Like, I just kind of like feel a feeling and I'm like, okay, film it, do it, like
Mhm.
speak to the camera. You know, I was in the car recording. I know I found an old video that I hadn't posted because I forgot I recorded it. This is what happens is that I'm go, and then I forget I record things.
Mm.
And it was me in the car and I was like talking, I'm about to make a different video and then I haven't posted this yet but I will. Basically, I have this whole rant that I have and I constantly say and I finally caught it on camera like in the moment
Okay.
of people at red lights not going when it turns green
Ah,
because everyone's on their phones, you know? So it's like we have 3
yes.
seconds to sit at a light. So of course I'm going to like start doing on my phone. And then it's
Right.
like you have a societal obligation as the first person in line at the light to pay attention. I, as the
Absolutely.
third car in line, get to like putz around on my phone because
Right. Like, I
I'll see
gotta
the
wait
car
for
and
you to take off and the
yeah,
next person to take off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like what the privilege of being the first person in line at the light, meaning I know you're going to get through. But if I'm 4 or 5 cars back, I might
And I
get
need
stuck
to
at this light again because
look.
you didn't go when the light turned green.
It's so true.
And I also recognize that there's a little bit of like the Formula One person in me that's like, when the lights go out, you
On the
go.
gas.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm
right.
like, hit the pedal to the metal, baby. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. Like, reaction time is amazing. Like, put her in Formula One.
Reaction time is 0.1.
Like
Okay.
literally, my reaction time is so good. I did like a little test online, and I was like, it was a very good reaction time.
Oh, there's a
Um,
test? I wanna do that.
yeah, my reaction time is great. Like truly,
Okay.
hand-eye coordination through the roof.
Yes.
Um, but so anyway, there's a whole rant because I constantly notice it. I have not honestly. It's been like really bad in the last 6 months. I've noticed this, and I'm
Okay.
like actually having to honk my horn at people because they're not driving.
Not paying attention.
It is like a
Everyone's
green
too
light.
occupied.
It's a
People
green
are
light, and it's not just like, "Oh, it just turned green." It's like, sometimes I'll wait to see how
yeah,
long. How long are we gonna sit here at this green light?
I'm gonna test you.
Yeah, because if I'm the second car, I still know I'm gonna make it through, you know? But I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
sitting there and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, by 4,
Mm.
I'm like, "What the I'm like, I'm like, "I have patience, but
Laying
not
on
that
the
much."
horn. Right, right.
You
Very
know? And
frustrating.
it's like, insanity. Anyway, but so there's like a video of that on my phone coming to a social channel near you because I'll have to edit it and post it. But that's the thing of like, I have these moments of like, I can capture all this stuff, but then there's other times where I'm like, I don't really
Mm.
have it or I don't feel motivated to film it or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'll go back and edit. But then there's sometimes where it's like, yeah, why don't you just like not schedule or do anything. Like, don't plan anything. Like, schedule to do nothing. Like, paint.
Yeah.
You know, I know we talked about this like early on about like finding like alternative like things to do
Yeah.
to
Creative.
express, to like be creative, express yourself, like let your brain kind of wander in different ways. And that's
Yeah.
all like well and good. But at the end of the day, like, I do think there is an element to listening to your body
Oh,
and being in
absolutely.
tune to your body of like again, I know at this beginning of this we both said we're very tired. I would say
Mhm.
like it's for me it's like partially like go but also partially like just editing, filming, schedule like coming up with ideas and it's kind of like okay, well, if you're and doing Pilates and going and seeing friends. I'm like, "Hey, how
Right.
about you just acknowledge that you're tired. I had a
Yeah.
productive morning. I'm recording the podcast. And how about I take the rest of the afternoon off? Like, take a
Yeah.
breather.
Take a breather. That's so I forget how you just put it, but that is a huge point, listening
Yeah.
to your body, because
Yeah.
your body your body knows, right? And it's so crucial that we schedule that in regularly, and sometimes it might not be scheduled. It might just
Mm,
be like, okay, today is just not it.
yeah.
I need to just do whatever my body's telling me,
Yeah.
instead of trying to force it, you know? And obviously, when you work at a company or you're an
Oof.
employee or whatever, how many times doesn't it suck when you have to like push through because you have no choice? You
Yeah.
don't have any PTO days, or you have to be there today because of X, Y, or Z. Like the privilege, as you
Mm,
said earlier, the privilege we have to say, like, okay, I am tired. I know I have these non-negotiables that I must complete today. So let me just do that and then just give myself some time and I'll hit it fresh tomorrow, or, whatever.
exactly.
Such a blessing to be able to do that.
That is such like a that is such a good point of like, yeah, okay, I do have things I have to get done today. There's things
Yeah.
I need to work on, and then I'm going to sign off. Like then I'm going to be done, and I'm not just
Yeah.
going to like keep pushing myself to get it done and get be productive at this like expense of
Mhm.
myself because
Of myself.
to your point, when we were in offices, those
Mhm.
days where you would be in the office and that like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, looking
Oof.
up at the corner of your computer screen, what time is it? I'm
Yes.
exhausted. I don't
Yep.
feel like I have it in me. I don't want to like, because I was never someone who was like going to go get like more cups of coffee kind of vibes. Like if I was going
Yeah.
to get a cup of coffee with someone, like to go for a walk outside, get up a cup of coffee, come back,
Mhm.
that's one thing. And that was like a once in a while. But if I was
Yeah.
tired at 2 o'clock, I'm not going and like making a cup of coffee
Right,
because
right.
I'm like, okay, but then I'm now going to be wired.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it's not even that. Like, I'm not like wired. Like when I have coffee, I'm not like wired. It's the prolonged energy that gets
Mhm.
me. Because if I were to
Yeah.
have a cup of coffee right now, like I would have a hard time falling asleep,
Okay.
you know? So I
Right.
am very conscious of like, okay, I'm not
Gives
taking
you a
in
nice sustained
caffeine.
boost of energy.
Same thing about sugar. Like I'm very able to notice, like if I eat, like I had two, I think I told you this the other day, like I had two Oreos like after
Yeah,
dinner and I could
yeah.
not fall asleep. And I've been
Right,
kind
right.
of trying to watch like my sugar intake. And
Mhm.
so I have these like no sugar added ice pops. And so I had one of those last night and that didn't
Yeah.
impact me in the same way.
Nice.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it also doesn't taste good, but like it is what it is, you know?
Let's just state the obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but that's so good. It's that self-awareness that we speak about a lot. It's really like doing things and not just glazing over things, but actually tuning into, okay, is this working for me?
yeah.
Let me come back and see, and I know we've spoken about this in past episodes where we talk about like planning, and even how I was saying I'm in a different phase of my business and my life where the schedule that I had just 6 months prior isn't working anymore. And I think
Mm,
it's also important to do that for breaks, rest and relaxation and rejuvenation as we do for productivity. So
mm,
I had mentioned offline that maybe it's something where I need to schedule break moments of rest. Maybe every season I take just 3 days or something, whatever that is, in addition to the day that I take every week, because that doesn't even count. Like to me, that's just a natural, like,
yeah.
whatever work week. But maybe every quarter, I already know that I'm planning for the next quarter. Like these will be the 3 days that I kind of, take some time just for me or to do whatever. And I think that might be just for me. Maybe that's something I need to do because I often find myself not scheduling the rest until I, like, almost desperately need
Yeah. Yeah.
it. And that's not cool either, because then it doesn't feel
Mm.
good. It's like, "Oh, I'm exhausted. I guess I gotta take some time. I need to
No,
do a
that's
couple things."
so true.
Like, if I'm proactive about it, I can prevent those feelings of overwhelm or whatever it might be, you know, in the
That
time.
is so spot on, is kind of like scheduling it in
Mm,
proactively because once you kind of find yourself like it's one thing to be tired, right? Like it's one thing for me, okay, I'm tired. Tuesday, I'm just like not feeling it. I kind of worked yesterday. I worked on the weekend. Like I think I'm going to take the afternoon off, evening
Yeah.
off and just kind of relax, make dinner, not rush myself, maybe take Olive for a long walk, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
another thing to be very cognizant of like our patterns. I think
Mhm.
that's something I think about a lot is a pattern of behavior, a pattern of it. Like I've been very closely like tracking my period this year. It was like something
Mhm.
I just wanted to get better at. And
Yeah.
so being able to look at my like tracker that I keep it on my phone, like I don't even like put it into
Yeah.
an app or anything. But so essentially I can see like I'm feeling really tired. Oh, this day is usually the day that my back starts to hurt. Oh,
Right.
this is the day that usually starts. This is the day it usually ends. But there's also other things we like never learned about in school, like other phases of your period, like luteal phase and blah 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 phase, who knows.
Perimenstrual, the
Exactly, and there's all these phases, and it's like, I
yeah.
look back and I can see tired, craving junk food,
It's
like,
all like
not
clockwork.
motivated, and
Yeah.
it's kind of when you can start to see that stuff as clockwork, you can start to, like, prepare for
Prepare.
it and also acknowledge it and give it its place. That's
Ex
something I've been working on is, like, I know when I went home this last time, like, it really threw me off my schedule
Yeah.
because I had been so consistent with my routine leading up to it for, like, 2 months solidly, like, morning routine, evening routine. I'm very much like, I need my day to have bookends. This is
Yeah.
the way I do my morning, this is the way I do my night, and things in between are the in between, and I schedule them as I need to.
Mhm.
Um and I was like really thrown off my schedule. I wasn't doing my normal walks with Olive in the same fashion. And it was when I came back, and I think we talked about this. I was like, this is so annoying that like my routine actually like helps me and works, and like taking
It
my walks
does.
with her. So
Right.
annoying. I can't stand it, but it is what it is. Um,
Consistency, but
yeah, it's like, oh, stupid routine. It's
that's
like keeps you good. But it's also like it's acknowledging now that
mhm.
rest is another part of that routine that needs to be
Absolutely.
acknowledged and needs to be scheduled. Just
Yeah.
like I bookend my days, and maybe I need to bookend my months, maybe
Right.
my quarters,
Mm.
whatever they are. Because
Yeah.
if I look back and I'm like, okay, like when was the last time I just kind of like rested and did nothing for
Mm.
myself? You
Right,
know,
right.
not like watched a Formula One race and edited, or looked at my or like worked on an email and da da da. Like when was like when was that? Or like when I went home for to visit family and friends and everything. Like that's also not like
No,
downtime for Ellen,
not. That's so true.
you know? So in
Family
my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll be off around Thanksgiving again. And I'm like, no, you won't. You're going to be with everybody. And that's not wrong that like being with my family is not downtime. It's a
right.
different kind of down it fills me up in a different way, but,
Different
like, talk downtime is downtime.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Ellen time, and I'm somebody who recharges alone. That's why I think I enjoy being a solopreneur and working from home and being on my own. It really is it for me, like, a lot of together people time, like, I need to go, like, relax afterwards for real, it's too much.
A lot of together people time.
Yeah, no, it's too much. Like literally we were with my friend to meet her baby this weekend, and I was like, I can't believe she has to like keep going.
Mm,
Like we
right,
left and she
right.
had to keep being on. And me and my friends in the car, because we all talked about this very openly, but my friends in the car were just like, I'm gonna go take a nap. Like I need to go relax. Like I need to go like put my
Right.
feet up or something. Like this is a lot. And I was like, I'm gonna go home and walk Olive, and then I'm gonna relax because
Yeah.
it's just like, you're just on. So it's
Mhm.
tough when then, you start to notice, you're like, "Wow, okay, I guess I need to schedule these things in because otherwise it's just not gonna be prioritized." And it's
Yes,
probably as crucial for my mental health as my routine, as
absolutely.
my working out.
A
So
huge
annoying.
part. Ugh.
Mhm.
No, I love that you mentioned, you know, um, knowing yourself in a way where it's like, "Oh, I recharge when I'm by myself." That's so I love that. And we know ourselves on this
Mm.
podcast, and it's so important to know yourself so that you can optimize whatever your idea of efficiency is. So yeah, that's definitely going to be like a takeaway from for me from this episode is all right. And I love the idea too what you said of like bookending your months. I don't know if that'll work per se. And I'm trying to think too, like, okay, well, how do I schedule something like that in every, if I'm doing it just one day a month or, like whatever it is, or 3 days every quarter,
Yeah.
how would I do that? Because then, let's just say you have your days. Maybe it's October 9th to the 12th or whatever. Then you get some crazy, opportunity or whatever come September 15th for October 10th. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, well, how do I approach that? Now we have to adjust a little bit, but also, again, another privilege to be able to kind of flex,
Yeah.
right? But I think
100%.
you set that, but not to, it's okay to have to finagle it a little bit, but to not completely disregard it or
Yeah.
let it go just because of, some amazing opportunity or something
Mhm.
happened and it kind of, you know, flubbed my schedule a
Well,
little
that's
bit.
I think a really great point because I do think that there's a lot of people who every opportunity that comes their way becomes a priority over themselves, over their own, well-being. And so it's acknowledging also and being confident in having an abundance mindset of
Yes,
I
yep.
don't need to take everything that comes my
Right.
way.
Yep.
More will continue to come. It's a very good example of even like, when you won't take a deal that's not your rate. I won't take a deal that's not my rate.
Yeah.
It's the idea of more will come my way that is my rate. And so me saying no to this thing doesn't mean that I don't need the money or I don't want the money or I don't want to keep growing my business or I don't believe
Yeah.
in this opportunity, whatever. It's just I know what I'm worth and I want to ask for my rate, right? So then it's also I know what I'm worth and I know that I'm worth rest
Right.
and I owe
Exactly.
that to myself and I can only be my best self
Yep.
if I do these things. Take
Yes.
care of myself, do my routines, eat the way I'm
Mhm.
supposed to, move my body because it's
Yep.
true. Like I honestly I have two pimples on my faces cuz I didn't eat well the last 2 days and I'm like gosh darn it.
Right.
Gosh darn it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. I know better.
There's all these things that we know we need to do to
Yeah.
take care of ourselves. And it's like I do feel as though like rest. And I also do think it is relatively like there's an element of it being gendered in a way where women, I do feel like we need to be like productive, take and like contributing, but also like caring for others does
Yeah.
take up a lot of space in a way
Energy.
that I'm not saying that men don't do that. I don't have that lived experience. I can't speak for men. I'm just saying that the societal pressure for women to attend to and care for others is
Yeah.
significant. And
Absolutely.
that does take up time and energy and brain space,
That is such a good point.
you
It
know?
truly
And it's
is.
like
Yeah. For
of
women in general, in every
yeah.
capacity.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Oh,
just have to
yeah.
be a mom.
Yeah.
It's like a
100%.
sister, a daughter, a mom, a friend.
Caring and being and caring for others, and to your point, like, not necessarily moms. Not we're not moms, but we still take care.
Yes, absolutely. And feel that need to take care of people, and it's not a burden or anything, but it just does require more energy. It
Yeah.
takes up more heart space and mental and emotional energy and
Mhm.
output. So yeah, it's a fine balance that we have to really kind of teeter on, and
Mm.
I think that's a really good takeaway for us moving forward as we're approaching your past your 1 year mark. I'm approaching my 1 year mark.
Mm.
And it's another thing of like, productivity and just becoming our best selves. And it gives us a chance to, I love that what you said about like having an abundance mentality,
Mm.
saying no to things, or, realizing that no, this is the time that I really just need to take for me. I can say no
Mhm.
to this, be okay with it. Like, because what's for me is for me. But it also gives us room to really set the stage for what's definitely for us, and what's best for our businesses and the goals and things that we want to achieve, big picture, you
Yeah.
know? So
And
that's
give
really
yourself that time to be like inspired. I think that's a big thing especially for solopreneurs, I think creatives, I think leaning in specifically to like the creative space, our creative headspace, like
Yeah.
you need to be inspired. There needs to be space for inspiration. There needs to be space for motivation. If
Yeah.
you are kind of operating on this autopilot of get up, I do these 3 things, 4 things every morning, and then I go do this. It's like, well, there's no real room for like spark. There's no
Mhm.
real room for something different to happen. And I'm such a,
Yeah.
like I said, like routine, my morning, my night, like I'm like routine helps me, right?
Yeah.
Like routine and scheduling things helps me. So I'm always trying to figure out like, okay, well, where is the inspiration or where's the fun moments that spark new ideas, like coming here, doing the podcast, like talking to you, like talking to other friends, like hanging out with friends, whatever. Like there is newness, new ideas and fun and synapses connecting in my brain of like, oh, I have a new thing to write down. Like I'm always forever, our whole friendship, something
Yeah.
funny comes up and I write it down in my joke notes. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't necessarily do anything with it. Sometimes I'll like make a video, or back when I did stand up, I definitely like mined my notes
Mhm.
for like things to talk about. Um,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's leaving space for that, because if you're just kind of like going like this rote memory of like, okay, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Well, it's just like you're kind of on autopilot. And that's kind of a big reason why I didn't want to be in like a 9 to 5 that I didn't enjoy anymore, because I just felt like I was like on a hamster wheel of life of just like, okay, go do this, go do that, get married, have kids, go to work, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like to take more control of my own life.
Exactly.
Which
That's what it's
actually I
all
have a
about.
win. I have a win to report.
Okay, report the
August,
win.
speaking of being busy, August was a
Yeah.
busy month for me with some clients and a client that I worked with that then introduced me to a new client.
Mhm.
And I was able to cover my rent with the
Hey.
work I did.
Oh, that's
It's the first
awesome.
time. This is the first time I've been able to like fully cover the rent.
Yeah.
So
Oh, congratulations,
thank
girl.
you very much.
Oh,
Thank you
no.
very much.
Chart is
Please
going up.
continue to bring this goodness my way, abundance, attraction.
Yes.
I'm going to check my email after this and there'll be something there.
There we go. There we go. I
But
love
yeah, I
it.
was like, I said it to my friend the other, because, I don't really like, I have a hard time with like acknowledging and being like, oh wow, like really proud of myself for like saying something out loud that like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was with my friend and I like kind of just said it in passing, and she was like, oh my god, that's great, like that's amazing, like da da da. And then we were talking and she's like, I'm still not over the fact that like you've now like created something that's like able to sustain, and you've
Right.
made business, like you paid your rent with the money that you made. Like you didn't make this money a year ago and now you can cover
Right.
your rent.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, I know.
Write that down, girl. That is
Yeah. So I like was on the phone with my dad yesterday and I just kind of mentioned it. And he's like, I'm so proud of you. I can't wait for you to come home. He's always, I just
awesome.
can't wait for you to come home. Like they had we had my family does like a seafood boil
Oh,
for Labor
yes.
Day weekend.
Okay.
Sadly, obviously I don't get to go.
Mhm.
Um, but I try to FaceTime into all those family functions. Like
Of course.
I always try to tell my sister, like my mom, whatever, like FaceTime me when you're there. Like when there's an appropriate time to FaceTime me and you guys aren't busy, like
Yeah. Yeah.
FaceTime me so that I can be a part of it. And then I usually wind up having to call them and FaceTime them. And I'm like,
Because
hey,
they're
can I?
busy with everybody
Because they're
and
all
yeah.
just like in front of everyone, and I'm just like
Yeah.
here.
You're in
Um,
California. Hello.
yeah, and of course, I think because I'm like, my dad like had just had like a big family day and like they were together, everyone was together all weekend. He was like, I can't wait for you to come home. He's like, when are you going to come home? I was like, November.
Right.
I'm like, it's literally September 1st. I'm like, I'll see
Oh
you in
my god.
November.
Yes. 2 months.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was just there in July, but like, I guess, it's technically 2 months ago
Of
now.
course. Yeah. Yeah,
So
technically.
yeah.
Wow.
So, and now
Well,
it's so funny too, because I was on the phone with my friend and I was just like, oh my God, 35.
oh, it's
I'm turning
coming.
35.
Yes,
And
you
I was like,
are.
I don't even care. I don't even care. Like, I don't even really feel like eventizing it or anything. Like, I'm just kind of like, it
It's
is
your
what it
birthday.
is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, "Oh my god, I wanna celebrate it." Like, I wanna, like, make it a big thing, but then I'm also not like, "Oh, I don't want to acknowledge it." Like, I can't believe I'm getting older. I don't feel 35. I don't act for 35. I don't look
Same
35.
here.
Like,
Same.
I just
All of the above.
think the only thing that's like, "Oh, she's 35," is, like, when people have like, a notion of what 35 is supposed to be.
Exactly.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
I
Like,
feel like
I
our
that's not
generation
me.
is totally rewriting the script on that anyway.
Yes.
Past generations, 35 seem to be like, "Oh, she's a I don't even know, some type of other woman that
Yeah.
we are not."
Yeah.
You know? And we talk about this often a lot. I think all of my friends, we all talk about how, I feel like I'm, 26. I
No,
feel like
truly.
I'm sitting and
Truly.
yeah, it really doesn't
I feel like I'm in my
mean
late 20s.
legit. Absolutely, and you look like it, and thank God we feel like it, health-wise and energy-wise and all of that type of stuff, so it's really cool. It's a blessing to be at this age doing the things that we're doing because we're not and there's no right or wrong time, best time, worst time to do any of this,
Yeah.
but it feels good to be 35 and in this lifestyle that I'm in now, I feel like I have so much history and so much of a foundation behind me at
Mm.
this time that I can really just take off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all it means to me. I don't
I
see
know. It's like, I
aging
don't
is
know. I feel like it's like you can do so many things like at later times in life now too.
mhm,
Um, I just saw this interview with this woman. She was on the show Community. She's like 51, 52. Oh, God,
okay.
what's her name? I think her name on the show was Sherry. That's why I keep thinking Sherry Shepherd, but it's not Sherry Shepherd. But her name on the
Okay.
show was Sherry, and she was just like, "Yeah, like life and love can happen to you at any time." She's 51, 52. She's like, "And I just got engaged." And she's like,
Aw, that's
and that's,
nice.
she's like, "Spend your time building the life that you love and that you want and like being happy in your life and like
Yes.
things will come to you that are meant for you and things that you are hoping for and wanting in your life will come to you. Like, but don't
Yeah.
spend your time wanting, like, spend your time building a life that you're happy with and you can be proud of." And like, I'm like, yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly it. And I'm like, I think
Exactly.
that there's so much satisfaction and so much peace
Mhm.
that can be brought by living a life on purpose, intentional, by my design.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Eat.
Like, I just keep saying, I'm like, the peace that I feel doing this, and there's so much like, no, there's like other things where I don't feel peace of like, yeah, I got to make sure I pay the rent and like got to take care of this that and the third. But then there's also like, I never thought about certain things, and now that I'm in the situation I am, to start thinking about those things in different ways. And it's like, that's just because I'm in like a different space in my life.
Yeah.
But like the peace I feel of not clenching my fists at my job, being like, oh, this person's so, I could just be like, I'm in control of my life. I don't
Right,
have,
right.
if I don't enjoy working with somebody, I don't have to continue
I
working with
don't
them
have
on
to.
beyond the project. You know what I'm
Don't
saying? It's
have
like,
to.
yeah.
Mm,
And so as I'm like starting to kind of build up like what I think I want to do next with
yeah.
like social, or like I want to do maybe like website creation,
Mhm.
like social footprint work basically for small businesses, like women owned businesses type thing.
Okay.
Want to make sure they have a social footprint, have a website, have a social media. And it's like, it doesn't have to be so difficult for someone who doesn't like that stuff.
Yeah.
You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? Who
Make
doesn't
it
want to be a part of
accessible.
it. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, that feels like I've been really just working on trying to find like what feels like true north for that.
Yes.
Not
Mhm.
something like, oh yeah, I'm just going to work with small businesses. It's like, because you're not going to really want to work with like every small business in the area or every small,
Yeah.
like, so I've been working on like the category. right? Of like,
Okay.
oh, I think it'd be really cool to like work with like, you know, mental health coaches or work
Mm,
with like women's wellness coaches. Oh my God, the list that
nice.
just came out. I swear I asked my mom, she said I never had a list. I think it's because I
Oh,
talk too
oh,
fast.
thank you for that update.
I think it's because I talk too fast.
Yeah, probably.
That's a problem.
Slow down.
Something I had to work on. I won't. I
Only gonna
won't.
get faster.
I'm just gonna talk faster. What was I saying? Who was
Oh
saying
man.
to me the other day that they were like, you just talk too fast? I forget. I think my dad was just making a comment about like, I talk really fast. My cousin Julie talks really fast. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
my Aunt Grace and I sound kind of similar. Oh my God. One time, oh my God, I don't think I've ever told you this story. One time I was watching the kids and I would like pick them up from school for her in her car. And I pulled up and I had sunglasses on and my hair down. And one of the like women at the school like walked up and thought I was my aunt. Because
What?
we had like similar like
Wow.
hair, the sunglasses. So yeah. And I was just like, oh no, I'm not her. I'm not her.
Just the cousin. Okay.
I was
Oh
like, no, that's not
man.
me.
I
Oh
mean,
my gosh. Yeah.
wow. No.
Oh no, I'm hearing scratchiness again.
Well, it's the end of the show.
Yeah. Time to just
No,
that is
dear.
Riverside saying enough. Go take a
Yes.
rest.
Go take a rest. Finish that edit process. Answer those last emails.
Girl, that's what I'm
And
literally gonna go do. I'm gonna sit on my balcony. It's pretty
yeah,
breezy outside. I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm gonna finish editing a video and then I'm gonna chill.
yeah. There we go. People find time to rest.
Yes,
Schedule your rest into your life to get back to peace, get back to self, center yourself to move forward. That's
exactly.
definitely what I'm going to do. I'm literally going to schedule that in tomorrow. I'm going to work on like
I
when's
love it.
my date.
There you go.
Looking forward to that.
There you go. I love it. All
Cool.
right. Well, I guess my day will be my birthday. I always do nothing for work related things on my birthday. So my upcoming rest, total off the grid rest day will be my birthday.
Amen. So
All
we
righty.
thank you all for
Thanks
listening and
everybody
watching.
for listening.
Yes, indeed.
We
Um,
appreciate it. We love you.
we do. We love you and we mean it.
Like, comment, subscribe,
Share, follow,
share.
all of
I've seen some upticks recently across our
it.
socials and listening and everything. So I think begging people to like, comment, subscribe, and
It's working,
and share
and I
the
think
podcast. It might be working. Maybe people feel bad and they're just like, okay, fine.
a pity vote is a vote.
Yeah, you know what? I always say that when people comment mean stuff on my TikTok. It's not
Yeah,
all the time, but people do comment like mean stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
You're
rubber, you're
common.
glue, okay? Nothing you say could upset me because I've already thought all the things. And at the end of the day, I say, that's engagement, okay?
Yes,
A vote's a
right.
vote, a comment's a comment. No one's out here measuring sentiment, okay?
No, they're not.
A
No,
comment's a
they're not.
comment. It's good for the algorithm. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I'd like to thank my haters.
Oh my goodness.
They let you know you're
Well,
doing something right.
yes. Listen, if you're not dating, then what are you doing?
Yeah. And if you're not a hater, like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone you think would enjoy.
Absolutely. Be sure to
Appreciate
do that.
everybody.
Appreciate ya.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Oh, find us on social. You know where we are.
You know where we are. You already found us. So
Yeah. Here we are.
here we are.
All right. Love everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast.